Hey guys, welcome back to Open Air, and this is part 3 of the Survival Gear series. In part 3, we're going to go through all the food options that I have gone with, as well as all the medical and a little bit of the hygiene products. If you guys haven't gone and checked out part 1 and part 2, part 1 I go through all the storage options as well as shelter and sleeping arrangements, and then in part 2 I go through all water filtration, some of the stuff that I got for my cooking options, as well as lighting sources and some of the power banks that I went with. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, go check those out, and let's jump right into part 3. The first food option I went with is just your standard MREs. They are a little bit on the pricier side, but I think if you shop around, you can find them on sale for the most part. That's what I did. I actually bought a couple cases of them at a pretty reasonable price. But even if not, if you can't find them on sale and you got to buy them at the regular price, I think for all the stuff that an MRE offers, I think you're getting a pretty good deal. A couple ones here I was just going to show you guys is I got the spaghetti with beef and sauce. Again, they do for the most part pack down pretty nice. I see a lot of people where they take out certain contents within the MRE, and they'll pack them down even to smaller sizes. But I think, again, as I said earlier, for what MREs offer, I don't think you can go wrong. The other MRE here that I wanted to show you guys was I did get the pizza slice with cheese. Now, again, I bought these in cases, so I did get a case A and a case B, and there's a very decent variety of different MREs. So I've tried them. They're good. The first one I tried was the beef goulash, and that was pretty good. Um, had some nice stuff in it, but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with MREs. The next food option I went with is just your standard freeze dried meals. A couple here just to show you guys is I went with a couple from Peak. I have a bunch of them, but these are just some of the ones I wanted to show you guys. This is just your standard breakfast skillet. This one comes with egg, sausage, potatoes, and peppers. 31 grams of protein, 2 servings per pouch. Nice breakfast. And then this is a signature meal. This is a venison country casserole, ground deer, and a creamy sauce with rice and vegetables. This signature meal also comes in a bison, and I've had that one, and that one's really good. So I picked up a couple of these too. But obviously, as I kind of said, I'm a big hunter, and yeah, I couldn't turn down the venison option. So excited to try this one. I haven't tried this one yet, and then I went with your standard Mountain House. I've had the beef stroganoff. This one's good. These you can find pretty much everywhere. Mountain House. Every time we go grocery shopping, if we go to Walmart or something, I'll just grab a couple of them and add them to the piles. Now, in watching a lot of the videos that I have, and especially when you get into like the backpacking, I've seen a lot of backpackers carry these Pro Meal on the go bars. I was interested because I always get like your Cliff bars, stuff like that, which are all good. But I've seen a lot of backpackers carry these. So I ordered a box of them, and these actually are pretty decent. There's 2 servings per bar, and there's 410 calories. So for what this packs down to, if you compare this to like a Cliff bar or something like that, I feel like you're getting a lot more value out of this as far as calories. And so yeah, I've tried these. These are pretty darn good. The one here that I got this is the oatmeal chocolate chip, and then this one is the whole berry blast. So again, these are pretty good. Another option that you guys can go with. I mean, obviously you can carry whatever you want for bars, but as you can kind of see, 2 bars, these pack down, so you could throw these all over your bags. I think they're a decent option. So that was all the food that I had for you guys. Again, I'll definitely be packing like hydration packs. I'll probably pack some other snack foods and some coffee, stuff like that. So when I do the actual bag load in, I'll go through all the other stuff that I have. So the next thing I want to show you guys is all the medical stuff that I have gotten. Disclaimer up front, I have no medical experience. I've taken CPR and first aid, but outside of that, a lot of this stuff I've just kind of learned. There's a lot of different channels out there that you can learn how to use this type of stuff. Now, again, one of the reasons why I didn't want to buy like a whole kit is I wanted to get multiples to, one, build out a couple different IFAKs, but also to open some of this stuff up, see it, feel it, and where if I had to use it, I have a general knowledge of how to use this type of stuff. So again, one of the main channels that I think he does a very good job in explaining this stuff. He has a lot of tutorials, is Prep Medic, I believe, and he does a great job. If you're coming to this channel to see how to use this stuff, this is not the channel. So seek out those different channels or go get training in your local areas or classes that are available. But there's no rhyme or reason of how I'm going to show you this, guys. I'm just going to kind of grab from the pile and just show you. But the first thing that I want to go through with you guys is just your standard med kit that you can buy. The first one here that I got is from Falcon Rescue. And I don't know what the piece count on this is. It's one of those huge piece counts. You get a lot of Band-Aids, stuff like that. But I've had a similar one like this just in the house, but I wanted to grab a second one to one kind of poach from to add into my other kits that I want to build out. But I've really liked this bag that this one comes in from Falcon Rescue. And so you do have some MOLLE attachment here. You got a little bit of Velcro there, but you do have some MOLLE in the front where you can it's like an elastic bandage that you can put stuff in. Has a nice handle on it. Does have a front clip where you can kind of cinch it down if you need to, but it does come with a MOLLE rip away back on it, which I thought was really nice. So if you wanted to, one, take this bag and build out your medical kit, I think this is a great option. It has a lot of different functionalities to it that I think would be useful in the sense of getting all your basic medical stuff, but at the same time being able to, if you wanted to throw this on a bag, you could do that, put this in your vehicle, whatever the case is. I thought this offered a lot. But so yeah, you have that strap there, and then you do have that rip away back there. So I thought that was really nice. And just to kind of jump into it just a little bit here. And the other thing I liked about this is it rolls out. So you get a full rollout, and I thought that was really nice. And then not only is it a rollout, but they come with these individual little pouches here. So they're labeled for what this particular pouch is. But again, these pouches have a Velcro back and they rip off. So if you just needed this one pouch, you could take this pouch, do what you had to do with it. But I thought for this bag, I thought it was very nice in the sense of how it's laid out. And if you're looking just to grab something again that was just your standard med kit and add to it, but you wanted, that nice kind of clamshell opening, individual pockets, stuff like that. Like this offers all of that. I also really like the fact that this one came with a sprain and fracture little kit. So in here you do get a SAM splint, and then you did get just your standard ACE bandage and then an ice pack. So I thought that was pretty nice for, your standard med kit here. And then, yeah, they got tape and wrap, looks like wound care, blister minder wounds, eye and burn care, clean and prep. Got some tools and then some first aid and instruments. I wanted to, one, get this, add it to the house, but also I thought this would be nice just to get and take some of this stuff out of here to add into the kits that I want to build out. And then it just rolls all back up there, throw the clip back on, and then you can cinch it down. And yeah, again, I think this is a great option. So the next thing here I want to show you guys is the Med Pod, and this is made from Lightning Products. And I think it's a bandage pack for IFAKs. I think there's a lot of different companies out there that make IFAKs and things like that, and they come in pod base. And if you use that product, you can then order from that company these med pods specifically to refill the items that you use. So I thought that was cool where you can order these and one, help build all an IFAK or replenish items that you may have used. But this one was $10 and you get two 5x9s, two 8x10s, two oval iPads. You get two 2-inch roll gauze, two 3-inch roll gauze, two 4-inch roll gauze. You get two self-adherent wraps and two elastic bandages. So for $10, I thought this was a great little package, and it comes packed nice. So they're all individually packed, so you can either take them out the packs if you want. The packaging is really nice on these. So yeah, just your bandage pack from lightning. The next kit that I went with is from Rhino Rescue. It's their burn kit, and this one comes with a bunch of stuff again. Comes with 4 4-inch burn dressings, 8 burn gels, 4 non-adherent pads. It looks like 5 yards of 3-inch bandages, 1 tape, some scissors, some gloves, and then an instruction card. So again, you can keep these right in the packs that they come in, but again, I'm going to use this stuff to build out IFAC. So I don't want to get repetitive in saying that. So I'll just continue going through this stuff. So the next thing here is just your standard Israeli bandages. So I got a couple of these. Just your trauma bandage. This is a 6-inch. It's a trauma wound dressing, enhanced bleeding control bandage. So yeah, these are nice. Just again, I'm gonna quickly go through this stuff because I got a lot of it. The next pod here, again, I went with from Lightning Products, is just your standard MPA. This is your, I believe it's a 2028 FR. So this one does come with lube, gloves, everything right in it. So this is one that I'll just keep right in the packs and just throw right in all the packs. Next thing here is I got two different things. The first one is just this is from North American Rescue. It's your compressed gauze, your Z fold gauze. For wound packing or wrapping, whatever you want to use it for, but mainly for bleeding. And so this is just your standard one. These ones are pretty inexpensive. I think I got a 3-pack for, it's like $15, so $5 a piece. Where these ones are your Z fold packing gauze, but this one has your hemostatic agent in it for blood clotting, and these are more expensive. I think I got a 4-pack for $60. So these are $15 a piece. So again, having multiple options, you start getting into the redundancy rule. 2 is 1, 1 is none. I wanted to definitely give myself options, and I went with just your standard Z fold, but then also a hemostatic agent one. For a tourniquet, this is just your cat tourniquet. I do have it pre-staged, so you can pull it out and apply the tourniquet. I would highly advise taking these out of the wrapper and staging them, just so that if you need them, you're not dealing around with anything. You can get these on, apply them, and go from there. So cat tourniquet. The next thing here I went with, just for the redundancy part, is just your standard SWAT T tourniquets. One, I like the aspect of how packed they are, where you can pack these in. But again, I'm packing these out to one, be in a prepared state where if I have to help my children. So SWAT T is very good to be able to use on children. Where like your standard cat tourniquets, depending on the age of your child, size of the limbs, you may not properly be able to use a cat tourniquet. So having a SWAT T as your second tourniquet will definitely give you that ability to apply this to a child. So yeah, I got some SWAT T tourniquets. The next thing here that I went with is just your North American emergency trauma dressing. This is a 4-inch flat. So this is basically the same thing as an Israeli bandage. The only difference for the most part, I believe, between this and an Israeli bandage is the fact that this is Velcro based. So every time that you wrap this around, it has that Velcro, so it's not going to slip. Where with the Israeli bandage, you got to put it through that wing nut. But outside of that, just to give me another option. So the next thing I went with is just your hyphen chest seals. You got your 2-pack here, so it's a entry and an exit. Definitely going to be throwing these in packs I'm going to use for hunting. I'm ashamed to say this, but I've definitely not been the best for medical aspect in hunting. And going through some of these videos, I realized that. Now, I had your standard first aid stuff that I have packed, but some of this stuff I've never even thought of until going through this. So I definitely want to build something that I can take in the woods with me and be there if I need it. Also, when you're hunting, you can fall, impale yourself with something. I definitely realized that I have not done the best job in creating a reliable, useful kit for hunting. So these will definitely be going in that kit. Here I just went with some trauma shears. These are some pretty decent ones. Can get some pretty expensive trauma shears, but I thought these were pretty decent for a 2-pack. And yeah, I'll be throwing these in the kits. So the next thing here is I did go with North American Rescue Burn Tech First Aid for Burns. This is a 4x4. Seen a lot of good reviews on these, so I figured I'm building this stuff out. Even though I did get the Rhino Rescue, I did go with a couple of these just to add in. The next thing I wanted to show you guys is just some body warmers. The reason why I'm adding these towards the medical side is, one, yes, they're nice just to have in your bags, but at the same time, I thought this would be great to put in med kits for the simple fact that if you are helping someone that is maybe going into hypothermia, you can add one of these while applying a space blanket as well. One, I think it helps retain that heat within there. And so, yeah, just adding these, or if you need them, they're there. I thought, why not just show you guys that I'm going to be throwing these in my med kits as well. The next thing here is just moleskin. Um, I'll be adding these in for hiking, all that different stuff. If you start getting a heat spot, you can throw these in. Moleskin. The next thing I went with, just to piggyback off the moleskin, is just some blister bandages, just to give a second option. So the next thing here I want to show you guys is just some wound closure. This is like variety pack here. So you got 4 adjustable, basically steri strips, and then you got 20 butterfly. I'm definitely gonna add these in all the packs. Next thing is I just got some clear medical tape, pretty self-explanatory. You throwing these in the kits. The next thing here is I did go with a Rhino Rescue splint kit. So this comes with 4 different sizes here, which I thought was nice. It does come in a nice little package. I won't be using this, but because I'm gonna be throwing these within the kits. You got a 18-inch one. You have a 36-inch one, 9-inch, and then you got a finger splint. So be throwing these in. Now, if you wanted to just keep these in the package, you can do so, but I'll be throwing some of these in actual kits. Yeah, it packs up pretty nice in there. And you can close it. Wanted some splints and to be able to use if need be, and I thought these are a great option. The next thing that I went with is just your skin stapler. Now, I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to get these, but I've elected to get them. These are definitely more towards the survival aspect of these bags, but I've seen a couple videos where people actually use these on their pets. We do have dog, so a lot of times if we're up at the cabin or something like that, we are, give or take, 40 to an hour away from the nearest hospital. I thought this would be good to have if I had to use on my dog. But outside of that, I mean, in a regular situation, I would not use this, especially if I can get to a hospital. So yeah, more towards the survival side. With going through all this stuff and watching videos, I've seen people have these, and I thought, why not? Skin stapler. The next thing that I went with, again, more towards the survival side of these bags, is just a dental care kit. Comes with a liquid and a powder. You mix them together, creates cement to help you repair a tooth. I have watched videos on this, and I've seen people repair chipped tooth, stuff like that. So I mean, you can use this if it was just an emergency setting, or if you chipped a tooth or something, you couldn't get to a dentist, you could use this for the time being. Did get a couple packs of these N95 masks. Thought they'd be nice to have, where if you need to throw a mask on for whatever reason, you have them right there. That's all the medical stuff that I have as of right now. I think definitely when I start building out some of these bags, if I need more stuff, I can definitely get it. But I believe that I have a very good starting point. So yeah, that was all the medical stuff. The next stuff that I want to go through with you guys real quickly is just some of the items that I got for hygiene. The first thing I want to show you guys is I just went with some antibacterial hand wipes. These are the pocket size singles from Wet Ones. A lot of this stuff that I've gone with, I wanted to go with the single packs just for packing purposes, but at the same time where if you only need that one wipe, you can open it, use that wipe, and go from there. Obviously, you can get big packs of wipes and stuff, but I just didn't want to take the chance of having to use something and you're not using that pack of wipes now for days or whatever the case may be, and it dries out or leaks in your bag. So I wanted to definitely get individual packs of stuff like this. Wet Ones, antibacterial wipes. The next thing I went with is just your standard little hand soap here. So I thought these were pretty neat. Come in these little carrying cases. They're not waterproof by any means. So I definitely would say get some individual bags or something to throw this in and seal it up. Because as soon as this has water to it, they set up and basically dissolve in your hand and you got soap. So you can quickly wash your hands or whatever the case is. I did get a couple packs of these. I thought for if you had to wash your hands quick, whatever the case is, this gives you that option where you're not having to carry around bottle of soap or something like that that could leak in your bag. Thought this was a great option. Look, next thing I wanted to go through with you guys as far as hygiene care would be something that you could obviously wash with, right? And I see a lot of people that pack bars of soap, stuff like that. But to me, one, it's heavy, right? And at the same time, they're not really compactable. So having a couple bars of soap, I just didn't see practical. So I was looking at different options and I didn't want to carry a bottle of soap, something that could leak. So I was looking at a couple different things and I came across this product. It's called Scrub Buzz and they're bath sponges and it's infused with soap and shampoo. All you got to do is add water and you basically can clean yourself and then it's a rinse free sponge bath. So you don't need an access to a lot of the water to then rinse yourself with. You just throw this, soak the sponge, lather yourself up, and then all you got to do is just have some sort of a towel and then wipe yourself clean. So this was a pretty cool option here. And they are a little bit on the bigger size, which is nice as far as having a towel. And so it's just your standard towel. Once it suds up, you can wash yourself. Some people may say, oh, how are you going to pack that down? Right? This is a 25 pack. So you can kind of see that it's thick, but obviously they're pretty soft. And I was like, all right, how could you do that? So what I did is I just took them, open the packs, took them, folded them into four, so you get yourself a nice little square. And I did five of these, right? So I got four of my family. I should have done four, but I just did an extra one. I did five. So I took five, folded them up like this, and then I put them in an air seal bag. It's five of these in this. And I thought you have a bunch of packs of these where they're going to pack down nice. And then when it's time for the family to take a bath, all you got to do is cut a pack open. Everybody gets a sponge and you can wash up. If you're going to do this for hiking, you could do these in packs of one, whatever the case is. I thought this was a pretty cool option for being able to wash yourself. So, yeah, I thought that was a great option. The next thing here is I went with just a microfiber towel. So this is basically the size of your standard bath towel. And again, I went with this for the simple fact of having those bath sponges that we just went through and having a microfiber towel. It's going to soak up a lot. They're going to dry quickly and it just gives you the ability to have a nice sized towel. It doesn't have much weight to it. It does come with this nice little carrying case that you can store in wet, and it has the ability to dry out while you're carrying it or whatever the case is. I'm not sure if I'll use the case or not, but it gives you a nice little option if you wanted to use a case with it. But that's what I'll do for my towel aspect. Next thing I wanted to show you guys is these Egyptian baby swaddles. And we got these obviously when our kids were babies to swaddle them. I thought this would be a great way to repurpose these, is throwing them in bags. Instead of going with a schmog, where I believe is how you say it, that people get, where have many different uses to them, You can make slings out of them. You can use them to cover your head. Water filtration, cut a piece of this, throw it over your bottle, filter your water, pre-filter your water in a sense where you're not getting all the clumpy stuff in there. But I thought this was just a great way to repurpose these instead of buying schmogs. The last thing I want to go through with you guys, just to finish up the hygiene aspect and things, the last couple things that I'll be throwing in kits is just your standard lotion, little bottles of deodorant spray. I got some toothpicks. I also obviously floss with as well. I'll definitely be throwing some athlete's foot stuff in just to protect your feet. Some toothpaste, some Gold Bond, toothbrush, as well as some sunscreen. So yeah, I'll be throwing some of this stuff in kits. Obviously at this point, whatever you guys feel is best for your needs into throwing into stuff, you could pick that type of stuff. But for me, this is the bare minimum of stuff that I think I want to have in my kits for myself. Guys, that's a wrap to part 3. Again, just quickly go over it. We went through some of the food options that I've gone with, as well as all the medical stuff. Again, this is not the channel to see how to use this stuff. I definitely seek out different options as far as using some of this stuff. I just want to show you a quick overview of the things that I have elected to go with, as well as all of the hygiene stuff that I kind of went with for my personal needs. I hope you guys like this part 3. If you guys haven't already, please go check out part 1 and part 2, and we'll see you guys back in part 4 to the end of the series. Thanks.